Let me think about this for a minute. Yandere Simulator is meant to have 10 rival girls for the player to eliminate over the course of 10 weeks. And each rival is supposed to feel as unique as possible, with different behaviors, cutscenes, events, obstacles, and interactions with senpai, so that they all feel distinct from one another. However, all of those things would require a tremendous amount of new animations and voice acting, and at this point in time, I just don't have the resources necessary to acquire those things. I could just release bare-bones versions of the rivals without any new assets, but that would be so lame. People have been waiting for those 10 rivals since 2016. If I release them without making each of them feel special, they would just disappoint everyone. I don't want to implement half-finished versions of those rivals. I would only want to implement them if I had everything I needed to make each of them feel as unique as possible. And I don't have what I need, so working on the 9 remaining rivals just isn't an option right now. But to move forward with the game's development, I would still need to create a system for moving from week to week, progressing through a story about eliminating 10 characters, and changing the conditions at school over time. And I also need to let players test that system and provide feedback on it. I need to create a 10-week system, but I can't use the rivals who were announced in 2016. So, what if I just create a new set of rivals? Rivals who exist purely to allow players to test the 10-week system. Rivals who are developed using the game's current assets, without any new animations, cutscenes, or voice acting. That way, I could proceed forward with the game's development without worrying about disappointing people with incomplete versions of the rivals from 2016. And I could collect valuable feedback on the process of eliminating 10 rivals over 10 weeks, which would be extremely useful once it's finally time to implement the 10 main rivals. The new rivals would need to exist in their own story mode, separate from Yandere-chan's story mode. That means I would have the opportunity to make various changes to Yandere Simulator that could turn it into the game that people actually expected it to be back when they first heard of it, before I began taking the game in a different direction. I could finally turn Yandere Sim into a game that offers a complete experience, with a proper beginning, middle, and end. But what would be the premise of this new story mode? Who would be the protagonist? And how would I make it fit into the game's lore? It might be incredibly difficult to come up with a good... Wait a minute. I've got it.